Well, Arsenal have been given the Olise call to action transfer, right? It's like an awakening call to Arsenal that you are the favorites to obviously sign this player according to what we've gone ahead to really get from the contract of Olise. And we all know that Arsenal are looking in for a right attacking midfielder to come in and compete with Bukayo Saka in this upcoming transfer window. And the only player that Arsenal had gone ahead obviously go huge on for was none other than Benjamin Sesko. But for the rest of the players, Arsenal are like, they are still taking their time. You saw the last video I did about Douglas Luiz, and even for Douglas Luiz, Arsenal are like, let him go to Juventus. However much they want, £80 million for a Premier League best team and £60 million for a team outside the Premier League. But we are not bothered. We are not bothered. And remember that the interest was concrete, but Arsenal looks like they've gone ahead to move on, and they've gone ahead to obviously make an alternation into their transfer plan. And we are talking this Olise call to action transfer, and we call in for 400 likes to be smashed on this video. Don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. First video of the day, 14th of June, the Muslims, Juma Karim, the Christians. We cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living true God bless you and bless you abundantly. Now, where do we start from? Obviously, everyone will be asking, Rokani, what's that clause that you're talking about? The clause is here, and it is said, Mike Olise's release clause is said to only be triggered by clubs who qualified for the Champions League. This complicates things for Chelsea and opens door for the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal. Now, Olise's buyout clause of £65 million can only be triggered by the team in the Champions League. You understand? When you look at the two teams that are really so close on really chasing in for the deal of Mike Olise, that is Chelsea and Manchester United, none of those is in the Champions League. You understand? None of those in the Champions League. And Arsenal, having some interest in this player, they might obviously get this call to action. And this way I'm going to let you know that this is the call to action for Arsenal to obviously come in through and sign Olise. Because if a Champions League club comes in through, they get him. Arsenal has interest in this player, and Liverpool is also interested in signing Olise in this summer transfer window. Meaning that if Arsenal or Liverpool come into action, Chelsea and Manchester United won't be having any negotiating ground. Amid this Olise wanting to play for the club of Manchester United, the club is really huge, and he supports it from his childhood. You get? Chelsea are trying to obviously push. I'm going to be letting you know what they're all about in the next minute, and they have the money to spend, but it's like the contract situation doesn't obviously allow them to obviously be part of this deal. Now, if I were Arsenal, I tell you, if I were Arsenal, I would go in for Olise immediately, because that means if you're a Champions League club, you don't even need to request Crystal Palace to talk to the player. All you have to do is get in your money, agree terms with Olise, and sign him and trigger that clause. And I think it will be one of the season-changing signings for the club of Arsenal. Why? This boy puts in a lot of assists and goals. He can get you close to 10 assists a season and 10 goals a season. And I know when he comes in to play for Arsenal, for a team that is going to be having the majority share of the possession and the ball, he can really do a lot of magic. He's really a magical player. When he inverts in the midfield, he can really run centrally and obviously shock the opponent. You know, the most deadly move in a game of football, or the most deadly attack, is always into the midfield. And that's what we should be doing. And that's why Arsenal should be going in for a person of this caliber. And I tell you, nothing is gonna really stop this guy from playing for a team next season, because even if these teams that are not playing in the Champions League fail, I know Palace will be like, all right, we can sell you to another team. But it is said, if a team that is not the Champions League comes in through, the money will be more. For £65 million, it's for the teams in the Champions League. And this shows you how people come out to negotiate. right? How people come out to negotiate on their deals, you know. And these clauses should be really learning phases for different teams in Africa on how to obviously make these release clauses triggered, you know. Now look, a team in the Champions League should sign him, meaning that that clause applies only and only to the team in the Champions League. If you are Chelsea and Manchester United and you're in the Champions League, Crystal Palace will charge you a different price, and I tell you, it won't be below 65 million pounds. That is the buyout clause. It will be more and more and more and more and more, I tell you. That is it. It will be more and more and more and more and more. So at the look of things, I'm like, that is an advantage to Arsenal. And can it be a blessing in disguise for the club of Arsenal to even take its time, you know? Because Chelsea, however much they want to do this, they'll have to pay more. That is it. Manchester United, however much they have gone ahead to agree everything with Olise, they have to do more and more and more and more to see to it that it doesn't really go into the wrong direction like they want it to be. So that is exactly what the situation is, and that's why I feel like this is a call to action to Arsenal. You get, come in, sweep in, and get the signing, right? So that's why I've gone ahead, obviously, put that title in there for you. But Arsenal look like they're really taking their time on who to sign next in there for you. Now, Fabrizio Romano has told us that Chelsea are really going super strong on Michael Olise, as they really want to push on the players' side because they believe this is the best strategy. Let's see what happens, but for sure Chelsea have started Operation Michael Olise. Now, we've always been knowing that Chelsea are really ahead, and they went ahead obviously say it, that Chelsea are really ahead of Manchester United on project Michael Olise. And he has gone ahead to repeat it, that they're really super ahead of any club in there for you. But there is something holding on to them, and the only way it will happen is when they are given what we call green light by the side of when they're given green light by the side of Chelsea to obviously go ahead and obviously agree personal terms. But I know Chelsea won't really allow it to happen now, because they know that teams are really gonna increase. You know, if Chelsea happens to obviously agree, sorry, if Crystal Palace tells Chelsea to go on, even Man United will kick in and they'll see how things will pan out. But they want to see how much teams in the Champions League are going to be offering them and how much teams not in the Champions League will be offering them. So good business for the side of Crystal Palace, and I really hail them for that. Matlow, Daily Telegraph football news correspondent, says Chelsea are confident they will not have to pay more for Michael Olise than a Champions League club after making contact with Crystal Palace over the winger. And this is their main threat, you know. But I don't see how they will get out of it, because they have to obviously pay more, as Chelsea will be like, sorry, Crystal Palace will be like, you are not in the Champions League, you know. That means this clause doesn't apply onto you. So for you, get us like 75 or 10 million pounds more than that. It's really possible, you understand. Then let's go to Alex Howell, football reporter for the BBC, told us that Michael Olise has a release clause worth in the region of 60 million pounds, and any deal will be complex with percentages due to his club Reading, to his former club Reading. You know, Olise himself and Crystal Palace. So Reading has what we call a sell-on clause, and that sell-on clause will obviously put in a lot of effort to see to it that Crystal Palace maximizes what they want to get. And this is where I tell you that if you're looking at this as a joke, it's not a joke, especially for Chelsea, who believe that they're going to come out and convince Crystal Palace to obviously pay them less. If this is the case, they'll try to really milk the best out of this deal to see to it that they get the fee they want for Olise and the percentage that the other team really wants in there for you. So I'm really excited about how this deal is going to be ending. And Sammy McBall, tier 1 journalist for the Mail, has come around and confirmed to us that Mike Olise is understood to be keeping his options open this summer while leaving Crystal Palace is possible. Sources have also indicated that he has shown a willingness to stay if they show ambition in the transfer market. So you're gonna hate to hear everything, right? And you hearing everything, on Michael Olise, you know, he is keeping his options open, meaning that the Olise to Arsenal call to action is really important, right? That call is really important because the player has not gone ahead to say that I want to go here. The player is like, anywhere you take me, I'm gonna go there, provided you agree with Crystal Palace. And there is even a thought that if Crystal Palace doesn't come out, obviously do the needful, then the guy will be like, I'll stay here, I won't go anywhere. That is the beauty of this. So guys, thank you very much for watching through, and the guy is keeping his options clear. But Matt Law is also, for me, a tier 1 journalist, has come out and really told us the following, that Chelsea are currently considered the favourites to sign Michael Olise should he leave Crystal Palace. All we know that Chelsea is going to have to do a lot, and wait to see how that pans out. So I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Olise to Arsenal call to action. Do you think Arsenal should join this? Because there is a clause that favours them as a club of Arsenal being into the Champions League. Rokani David is my name. Sign out for now. See you later. Juma Karim, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. We out.